Welcome to our comprehensive guide on mastering texture in AI video generation. Today we'll explore how texture serves as the crucial element that separates amateur-looking AI videos from truly cinematic content. The quality of texture implementation can make or break the believability of your AI-generated scenes, and understanding how to handle it properly is essential for creating professional quality content. Wind is far more than just a surface pattern. It's what gives objects their perceived depth and dimensionality. When we implement texture correctly, it creates a complex interaction between light and surface, producing subtle variations in reflection and shadow. These micro details are what our brains use to interpret material properties, making the difference between a synthetic-looking image and one that feels tangibly real. Let's dive into the fundamentals of photorealistic texturing. Understanding how different materials interact with light and display their unique characteristics is crucial for creating convincing AI-generated content. These principles will form the foundation of our approach to texture creation. When crafting prompts for texture generation, specificity is key. You'll want to clearly define the material type you're working with, whether it's brushed metal, weathered wood, or woven fabric. Include descriptive terms for surface qualities. Terms like rough, smooth, or glossy help guide the AI. Don't forget to specify how the material should interact with light and whether it should show signs of age or wear. Let's put this knowledge into practice with a hands-on exercise. We'll start by creating textures for some common materials. Watch as I demonstrate the prompting process, showing you exactly how to describe the material properties we want to achieve. Pay attention to how specific word choices in our prompts directly influence the resulting textures. Creating realistic skin textures presents unique challenges in AI generation. The complexity comes from the need to accurately represent subsurface scattering, how light penetrates and diffuses through skin layers. We also need to capture the subtle details of pores, slight color variations, and natural imperfections that make skin look authentic rather than plastic or artificial. When it comes to fabric texturing, understanding the unique characteristics of different materials is crucial. Cotton should display a natural, slightly irregular weave pattern with a matte finish. Silk requires a smooth surface with distinctive light reflection properties that create that characteristic sheen. Wool needs to show both surface texture and depth, with visible fibers and a natural roughness. Now, let's apply these principles to create organic textures. I'll guide you through the process step by step, showing you how to generate realistic skin and fabric textures. Watch carefully as we adjust our prompts to achieve the right balance of detail and natural variation. Moving on to hard surface texturing, we need to understand how materials like metal, glass, and plastic interact with light in distinctly different ways. Each material has its own set of properties that we need to capture to create convincing results. Environmental textures require special attention to natural variation and weathering effects. When creating rock surfaces, we need to incorporate both large-scale formations and minute surface details. Wood textures should show grain patterns and age-related wear. For terrain, the key is creating believable transitions between different surface types. Let's practice creating these environmental textures together. I'll show you how to blend different materials naturally, creating convincing transitions between surfaces. Pay special attention to how we layer different texture elements to create rich, complex environments. Understanding how textures behave during motion is crucial for dynamic scenes. Textures aren't static elements. They need to respond naturally to movement, showing appropriate deformation and interaction with lighting as objects move through space. Observe how these micro-level physical interactions affect texture appearance. Notice the way fabric folds create natural shadow patterns, and how liquid surfaces display complex ripple effects that influence texture behavior. These subtle details are what make motion feel natural and convincing. Let's work through implementing these motion-aware textures. I'll demonstrate how to create textures that respond naturally to movement, incorporating secondary motion effects that add depth and realism to your scenes. Lighting plays a crucial role in how textures are perceived. Different lighting conditions can dramatically alter the appearance of a texture, affecting everything from surface detail visibility to the way materials seem to interact with their environment. Let's examine how various lighting conditions affect texture appearance. Under direct lighting, textures show strong contrast and defined shadows. Diffused lighting reveals subtle surface details and creates softer transitions. Dramatic lighting can emphasize texture depth and create compelling visual interest through shadow play. Now, let's practice optimizing textures for different lighting scenarios. I'll show you how to adjust your texture properties to ensure they respond correctly under various lighting conditions, maintaining their realistic appearance regardless of the illumination. Beyond photorealism, there's a whole world of stylized texturing techniques to explore. Whether you're aiming for a cartoon look, cell shading, or other artistic styles, understanding how to modify texture properties is key to achieving these distinctive looks. Let's examine how different animation styles handle texturing. Notice how claymation-style textures emphasize subtle surface irregularities and a slightly matte finish, while cartoon-style texturing often uses simplified patterns and bold color transitions. Let's create some stylized textures together. I'll guide you through the process of achieving specific artistic looks, showing you how to adjust your prompts and settings to create these distinctive stylized effects. Let's address some common texture mistakes that can impact your AI video quality. Watch out for inconsistent material properties, unrealistic light interaction, and poor scale matching. These issues can quickly break the illusion of realism in your scenes. For each of these common problems, there are specific solutions we can apply. Notice how adjusting material properties and ensuring consistent scale can dramatically improve the final result. These fixes can transform an amateur-looking scene into a professional-quality output. Let's practice identifying and fixing these texture issues together. I'll show you how to spot common problems and apply the appropriate corrections to improve your scenes. Professional texture libraries can significantly streamline your workflow, providing ready-to-use, high-quality textures that can be customized for your specific needs. Let me show you how to implement these texture packs effectively using JSON. We'll go through the setup process step by step, exploring how to customize and adapt these resources for your projects. For our final exercise, let's put everything together and practice implementing texture libraries in a real project. Follow along as we integrate these resources and customize them to achieve the exact look we're aiming for.